my name is Kevin Molis. I'm the police chief of the Malden Police Department. Today is December 15th, 2016, and I'm here with Paul Hammersley from the mayor's office, and we're going to take a tour of the former police station. This building has served the community for about 40 years, where the Malden Police Department operated and provided public safety. And we're going to take a walk through now. The building is pretty empty because we are currently at our new police station at 800 Eastern Avenue, but just walking here right now, this area here formerly was the Bureau of Records. There used to be a lot of desks here, and a lot of activity took place here. People would get services at the front window for whatever they needed. And this was a pretty, lively and robust area. And many people from the public, this would be their first point of contact, coming into the front lobby and asking for help or information or whatever we could do. Right here, as you see, it says knock before entering. So we'll knock just to be sure. This room here used to be the room for the officer in charge, the person in charge of the shift, who really ran the operations of the department, would operate out of this room. There'd be a desk here, and this is where they would spend most of their time. The room here, we can actually go inside, but if you get a good look at it, this used to be our dispatch area. Very important part of the police department, obviously. This is where people would call for help, call for service, and we had police officers working in this room, handling the dispatching, calls for emergency service, and just general services. So if you want, we can actually go in there. Mm-hmm. There you go ahead. Again, this gives you a better look of the former dispatch room. Most of the equipment has been taken away, but this kind of gives you a general idea. Dispatch is here, working the terminals, sending police officers to various calls and taking calls as they would come in. Alarms would come into this building. Really the hub of the department. Officers would utilize the dispatchers, police dispatchers, to provide them information if they had someone stopped in a motor vehicle, a person that they want to know if they were wanted or had a criminal history. So this is really kind of the hub where most of our activity comes, because most police calls, in this modern era, come by telephone, and it's not somebody that's walking in the lobby. So this is a very important thing for public safety. And as we move past the Bureau of Records, and we come down to this corridor here, this kind of represents the other entities within the police department. Their offices. This room here would be the office where the patrol commander was. Someone that was traditionally a captain, who's in charge of the patrol division. This would be his office right here. Moving along, again, an office for the IT personnel. This was the office for the head of detectives. Going over here, again, more offices. This would be the interview room, where people would be interviewed, whether they be suspects in crime, witnesses to crimes, but this would be the interview room. Again, more offices here. A detective would work out of this area. Detectives would work out of this area. This was kind of just a general area. Sometimes we would use it for ceremonies, whether someone was getting promoted or retiring. We would assemble here for that aspect of the life of the department. And this used to be an area where officers would write their reports on their computer. They would come to this area and do all their report writing. And this room here, again, two other officers that served members of the department, whether they be detectives or in some administrative capacity. And This area here, you know, very, very important part of the department. This was the evidence room. A very secure area. Only had limited access to those that were authorized. But this would be a very important aspect of any police department, because this is where physical evidence from crimes or investigations would be kept. So there has to be tight security, tight accountability. So access to this room would be limited to those that had that responsibility. And you could have evidence in this room from a variety of crimes, from homicide cases, drug cases, any type of cases where physical evidence could possibly be needed to prosecute a case or investigate it further. You know, moving from here, we would then go to an area that is always, you know, popular to the outside public, but not always popular to those that had to come here, would be the booking area. So what you're seeing here right now, this is the booking area. When people were under arrest, they would come off this elevator, they would stand in front of this desk where they would be booked by the officer in charge, processed, afforded all their rights, photographs, fingerprints, and all that appropriate information that we had to get. And upon being booked, they would then move into the area of the cell block. And this is the cell block area for the Malden Police. As you can see, speaks for itself. This is a traditional cell. People were held in here individually in each cell, and the cell block area goes all the way around to the back. Again, more cells. This area here was an area for female prisoners. So there were female cells that were kept in a separate location. And then in addition to that, you have juvenile cells. So this would be the area where a juvenile that's under arrest would be, you know, temporarily detained in that room there. Again, more offices, detectives' room. This area here. You know, for many years it was a conference room, where this is where we used to have meetings, and so, you know, that was the purpose that this room served. Going down the hallway, again, you're just going to see continuation of the offices. This would be the chief's area. This was the area for the training captain. Another administrative person, same thing here. And for many years, the Malden Police Department shared this, allowed the credit union, the Malden City Employees Credit Union, operated out of here for many years. It was very convenient, and it was a very good thing to have, but this is where the credit union was, and that was the entrance over there. Okay, now we're on the third floor of the department. This area really didn't get, you know, much daily use. This was our archives where we kept old records, historical items. This would be an area where we stored files and police reports. This was the office for the drug unit. And this area here was mostly used as a training classroom. So this was an area where we would come up and gather in large groups whenever we had in-service training or use of that type of gathering. This was the shooting range. So this was a place where officers could come up and practice with their weapons. Very important aspect of our job. It's something that we take very seriously, the use of force, but this is a facility that was used to allow officers to come up here and train with their weapons, and a very good feature of our department. Same here, just some storage areas for the armory, where, you know, weapons would be stored and maintained. So now we're going back down to the ground floor, I guess you'd call it. The building has 3 floors. From my memory of the department, which goes back to my beginning my service here in 1980, we have had a variety of roll call rooms. Roll call, as you know, is the time when officers assemble at specific times, where attendance is taken, information is given to them. So up until us moving, this was the roll call room. Officers would come in for the 8 a.m. shift or the midnight shift. They would assemble here. The officer in charge would conduct the roll call, and this would be the room that would happen in. But in my time here, we've had actually 3 roll call rooms, and I'll be able to show you them. And you know, as we move down the building here, we come to an area that used to be the locker room. So right here is the police locker room. The lockers are all gone, but you know, there was a good number of lockers, well in excess of 100, and this would be the place where officers would come. You know, they could store their equipment here. They had their own individual locker, and this was that was one. These are just simply supply rooms. When I first got on the police department, this was the roll call room. And now, over time, when the roll call room moved, this became an office for members of the department. Again, a little more storage. It's kind of, the reality is you do accumulate a lot of things over time, whether it be evidence or just things that we need for our operational necessities. And this room here, which you know obviously is now the gym, this was a roll call room at one time. So we had 3 areas where we did roll call. This was one of them for many years, and then we were able to turn it into a gym for the health and wellness of the officers, and it's always good to have that. And then the last thing that I believe that you have to see would be the police garage. There was an officer named Dan O'Leary who worked the desk at that time, and we symbolically named the triggering password Dan-O after him. Well, that pretty much sums up the building. And what it doesn't tell you, though, is the many, many years of dedicated service that a variety of people have provided, coming through those doors every day of their life to devote themselves to making the community a better place to live, work, worship, and raise a family. So, although this building no longer officially is the location where we perform our important noble function, it's a place that I think, because of the years of service, will always hold a special place in the hearts and minds of the members of the department, and hopefully members of the community who have benefited from that service, of those that have served here in the past. And it is my hope and my dream and my confident belief that we will continue to provide this service at our new location for many, 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 many years to come. It's what we do, it's what we've always done, and we're proud to do it. And on that note, I want to thank you for taking the time to memorialize what for us has been a very important place to devote our lives to.